hello, and welcome to my house. Woo-hoo! Yay! All right, my name is Victoria Heeks Knight, and I will be your host here on Hockey Talk. Today, we are going to be talking about the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. This was a very entertaining game because this is leading up to playoffs. All these games coming up are playoff contenders. So there's going to be something that a lot of athletes refer to as like desperate playing, which is what a lot of people like. You can see it a lot in the NFL, not just in hockey, but the NFL as well and other sports. So basically, a lot of the desperation comes from, oh, we got to make the playoffs. We want to make the playoffs. So I think that's going to be a lot of what I talk about today. I don't have a lot of notes from last night. There wasn't a lot of penalties. There weren't a ton of bad calls that I went, okay, I have questions, and really overall there weren't a whole lot of things that I looked at the game and went, ah, I have questions. Hello, I have questions. Okay, like I do in a lot of my other videos. So for the most part, even though it was a very energetic, well played game on both sides, there wasn't anything that made me puzzled, if that makes sense. All right, so let's get down to the tea. All right, so we have our pregame. There was a pregame interview, as usual, per usual, with head coach Rod Brindamore. He was asked about a lot, or there was a lot of questions about this game, particularly going into it with the Islanders, and he had some really good points to make. He talked about how there were a lot of playoff indicators for the Islanders and how they're going to be playing probably more desperate than normal because they want to be in the playoffs. And or at the very least they want to be in the wild card slot for the playoffs. And I think that's a very important point to hit on, and something very important that he said. And Rod Brindamore articulated it much better than I'm articulating it. So if you if you want to watch the whole interview, go Google it. All right. Now there was a lot of talk about the Aho, Jarvis, and Blake line. They have, as of the past handful of games, those individuals have been playing in sync, and they have been playing a lot of really, really good hockey together. And I think that's a lot of fun to watch them finally kind of click. And they're not the only ones. I think having Svechny back definitely adds another layer of great playing to the team. I also think that there were a lot, like having Orlov back also adds that, and also I think the newer guys are finding their groove together, and that's great. That's wonderful. All right, so now let's get into the first period. The first period was a lot of tit for tat, for lack of a better word, a very good back and forth on both sides. Like we weren't on the Islanders all the time. Islanders side of the ice all the time, and they weren't on our side of the ice all the time. And so I think that shows a lot of what I was saying a moment ago of the team is finally finding its groove, finally connecting, and finally finding those pieces that work together. Um, and both sides scored in the first, and that again, that's always fun to see, is to see your team scoring, especially in the first. And they came out and they were like, "Let's play." So I think that was a uh good thing. The second period was full of energy from both sides. Again, this is what makes a big part of what makes hockey fun, is when it's a back and forth battle, and you have, you know, a back and forth scoring battle. That makes it even more fun, because it's like, "Oh, our team scored. Woohoo! All right. Yes, yes, yes. Oh crap, they scored. Woohoo, good for them." But yes, my team scored. Excellent. Like, that's part of what makes hockey fun, football fun, soccer, all of these other sports fun, is the tit for tat, the back and forth, and the, "Oh, yes, 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 yes." The suspense, I believe, is what we would call it. All right. And there was a lot of good plays by both sides. There were penalties, but I had trouble keeping track of them in all throughout the game. And then the third penalty, or wow, third penalty. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, mm, we're leaving that alone. All right, the third period. Plenty of good shots on goal. Everyone played really good. Lots of good uh goal attempts. Especially from Carolina. I think we did great. The final score was 6-4, Canes win. So that score in and of itself shows you just how competitive this game was, and how much power and how much energy there was in that game. And I think that's a beautiful thing. All right. Now, like I said earlier, I don't really have like questions. I have favorite moments from the game last night. Jarvis scoring, of course, that was, he had great, great, great scoring opportunities last night, and he took them. And and I will continue to sing Jarvis and Aho's praises. They work together so, so well. They're like a dynamic duo, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. Also, of course, another favorite moment of mine was us winning. Just putting that out there. I love our celebration after we win at home games. The Storm Surge. They celebrated Jarvis and his goals during the game. He played very, very well. And then my other favorite moment was, so Kachekov took a page out of Freddie Anderson's book, except he didn't, you know, snowman or snowflake or whatever you want to call it, snow angel onto the puck. Nope, he literally just did a plank and stopped the puck on his back, and somehow, and yeah. I laughed so hard when I saw that. I was like, okay, round of applause, because again, I was like, okay, yep, you saw Freddie do that. Now you're doing that. Anyway, so like I said, it's great to have y'all here today. Um this is going to be a shorter video than I usually do, just because I I only wanted to come on here and talk about it briefly, or talk about this game briefly, because like I said, there were no crazy fights, there were no crazy penalties, there were no crazy questions that like in the last game I covered, which was Carolina versus the Habs. I i asked a question about, why did the Habs keep going behind the net and just basically camping there. And I still don't know. But yeah, so I'll just roll that question over to this video. If you need a refresher, basically the in the last game with Montreal, there were players that kept going behind their net, and they would just stand there with the puck. Now, my understanding of what's happening there is there's like some sort of reset happening, or a line change, or a play setup happening. And there's moments where you know a player will get behind their own net and stand there with the puck while things are happening. And there's been moments where players will challenge that player with the puck, but it's usually a few seconds. But in the Montreal game, the Montreal players were literally standing there with the puck for what felt like 5 minutes. I'm sure that's not how long it was, but they kept standing there, and standing there, and no one was challenging it per se. And I just got really, really confused by that. And so, like I said, my understanding is there's a line change happening, or some sort of play setup, or something happening. So, anyway, um, there's a lot of nuances and rules and unspoken rules and plays that I'm still learning. If you know the answer or anything like that, please keep it cute and comment below. Woo-hoo. Anyway, so that's about all I have for today. I am looking forward to covering the next game. So anyway, like I said earlier in my intro, my name is Victoria Heeks Knight, and I am your host here on Hockey Talk. Thank you so much for coming to my house. Woohoo!